What's up, guys? It's Jason with Overthink Gaming. Before I start today's video, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support you guys have been giving me lately. It's fucking awesome. But today, I want to talk about something special. I want to talk about Metal Jesus again. Now, I want to talk about something that's very serious in the gaming community. It's kind of like Metal Jesus and John Hancock are over here like trying to burn down their own branding. I don't know, the whole Metal Jesus crew thing. I really don't understand what's going on. Now, that crew is targeted towards collectors, so it's a little different than any other YouTuber that I've seen. I haven't seen any other YouTube channel. It's gonna be 2020, and all these channels that kind of e-beg or ask for games, ask for donations, or just do things kind of sly, that's kind of like fading away. That's a little bit old school, so I don't know, they're kind of putting themselves out there, and I think they're kind of digging their own grave. As far as Hancock with this whole museum dream, that shit's just a dream. It's not gonna happen. That dude's taking donations like crazy, but you know what, let's not get into that. We'll save that for another day. Today what we're gonna talk about is Metal Jesus and him artificially creating hype and the scarcity of a game. So the name of the game is Revenge of the Bird King. This is a mediocre game. You guys can buy it on the Nintendo Switch right now for 9 cents digital. You heard me correctly. You can buy that game right now on the eShop for 9 fucking cents. Now, I went ahead and bought it. I went ahead and checked it out. The game is very mediocre. It's an old school platformer. It's not bad. It's worth the 9 cents. If you guys have any gold coins just left over from anything you bought digital, you guys can afford it. I mean, it's pretty much nothing. 9 cents in gold coins is like nothing at all. But anyways, I would suggest you guys check it out just to see what the hype is. And it's not a bad game for 9 cents. Now, Metal Jesus made a video over here promoting the version for the PS4. Now, right away, he said keywords to target collectors. He said it was going to be rare. He said that there is no digital version. This is the only physical version. That the guy who coincidentally is a developer for limited run games had a box that was supposed to sell him at some kind of convention or something that fell through, or something happened where he couldn't it didn't work out, so he got left with this box of games and he needed to get rid of them. So Metal Jesus went ahead and made a video saying that this is going to be the rarest game ever. You know, did those keywords, compared it to the Nintendo Stadium events, which you guys know that's the rarest Nintendo game, which got collectors' eyes right away. He said the guy has a small box and that he was going to sell them at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo and on Twitter, which, you know, I'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, you know, use the keyword that towards trophy hunters, you know, that this is the only way you guys will be able to get trophies is through the physical version. But before we start getting real deep into that, let's go back a little. Metal Jesus has been accused of rising prices in games. Now, I know what you guys are saying. No. And I used to think like that. I would always be against that theory. Now, Metal Jesus has always showed us games that we probably would have not have played, so that's why I backed him up on him not rising the price of games. I found out about a lot of fighting games through him and Reggie, so I always said no. You know, he showed us games that we probably would have never heard of, so it's pretty cool that he's doing these hidden gem videos. Next, I want to talk about limited run games. If you guys are not familiar with limited run games, basically they're a small developing team, but they're known for their publishing, for their distribution of putting out indie games into the physical form. Now you can go to their website, you can check out their games. They put out limited quantity of games, which I don't really support. I'm not a big fan of them because a lot of those indie games you could get really cheap and they charge full price, if not more, for the game. The one thing that kind of gets me is that you can find some of these games at Best Buy, so I don't understand what they're actually aiming for, but it's just something I do not support. Limited run games, any of these smaller companies like Strictly Limited or Super Rare Games, I just do not support this way of distributing these small indies. On that Friday that the convention started, October 18th, 2019, how convenient, Metal Jesus put out a video titled Rare PS4 Game. Got a physical version, but was canceled. Get yours now. He did explain that Revenge of the Bird King was developed by a guy named Joe from Limited Run Games, and that he was selling the games privately on his Twitter, that he couldn't distribute it through an online store because through PlayStation you need a digital version in order to sell the physical, and there was something going on that he couldn't sell it, and Metal Jesus promoted that you do need this physical version in order to get these platinum trophies.
I recently got an email from Joe, who is an employee of Limited Run Games, and then he goes on to tell me that he paid for a small batch of physical copies for this event as a promotion, but the event was canceled, and that means also that the digital version would automatically be canceled as well. Now, here's something that I did not know, and that is Sony has a rule that if you're going to put out a physical version of a game, they require there also be a corresponding digital version available to consumers. Since this event was canceled and he no longer had the rights to the digital version of it, Well, he's stuck with a box of physical versions of the game. So it's probably safe to say that this is one of the more rare and hard to find PlayStation 4 games that are out there. But the good news is that Joe owns all the copies and he's willing to sell them to collectors. If you want to get yourself a copy of this, Joe doesn't mind if you reach out to him via Twitter.
If you did go to Joe's Twitter right after the video, he did have a pinned tweet that stated this. Reply at Metal Jesus Rock video. I don't appreciate anyone suggesting he lied or misled people. There was miscommunication. I never planned to distribute them online. I will have copies at the limited run pop-up shop up. I'll look into online distribution after that. Leading up to the convention, now he did a lot of hyping up this game. He did show pictures of the game. It looked like very limited quantities in a small bag. And then he also had a picture of him inside his hotel room hugging them. So this was basically a message to collectors. Get your copy now, they're very limited. Something seemed really fishy about this video. The fact that Metal Jesus posted it on the day that the Retro Expo started and that Joe was going to be selling them all of a sudden at the limited run booth. It just seemed real fishy. If you go to eBay and you look at the sold versions of this game, now there was one version sold, and this version was sold on October 17, 2019, the day before the expo, the day before Metal Jesus put this video. This copy was sold for $1,100. In this listing, all the proceeds supported the Video Game History Foundation. If you look closely where the shipping's at, it's from Apex, North Carolina. And if you guys go to Google Maps and type in limited runs, the corporate office is in Apex, North Carolina. What a coincidence. So I decided to dig a little deeper and I went to Joe's Twitter and I found this. On October 10th, he posted, I put up a copy of Revenge of the Bird King for PS4 as a charity auction with 100% of the sale to benefit at GameHistory.org. So that's how resale business starts. You're gonna start the rare item really high, and you're gonna see where the consumers take it, whether they buy it and it keeps climbing. And that's usually what happens when it's really rare. But right now, I took a look at the numbers, and it looked like it started at that 1,100. It dropped down to 760, went down to 500, and then went back up to 530. So that's letting me know right now it's evening out around the $500 range, and that could go up or it can go down. If I were you guys right now, I would hold off and kind of see where the market's gonna take it, whether it's gonna go up and down. Now, it being a super rare game, I have a feeling it's gonna go up. But for collectors, I know you guys are like really wanting to buy the game before the fear of going up, and that's what they do with rare games. It's that fear, and that fear is what's gonna cause the price to drive up. In the end, it's the collectors who have control of how high this game's gonna go. It's not the YouTuber, but in this case, I want to say it's a little bit different. Now, Joe probably gave him free copies of the game, and that's what drove him to promote this game. So in his head, he's doing nothing wrong, but he's getting free copies of, and who knows how much this game is going to be worth. And the fact that limited run has something to do with this, I am not a fan of limited run. If you guys do know, their quantity of games are supposed to be limited in small quantities, but for some reason, they put aside a lot of games that sold out at conventions, and it could be like a year later, 2 years later, you'll see the game that was sold out there sold at conventions. So right there lets you know they do hold back stock away for conventions, and who knows the stock that they hold away for themselves when prices go up. I mean, I guess that's what you would do owning a company, but it seems very scummy. In Joe's Twitter, he did mention that, he will look into online distribution at another time. I honestly think that's full of shit. Like, he's full of shit right there. He said that to cover his ass because, actually selling directly through Twitter is online distribution in a way. Maybe to cover his ass, he's like, you know what, I'm only gonna sell at Portland Retro Gaming Expo, which is the safe thing to do, and that's what makes consumers really, really, really want it, especially if they're out of town and can't make it to the convention. If you guys caught Radical Reggie's live stream yesterday, he did a live stream with his friend Kyle. When I caught it, it was towards the end, and they were taking apart a Game Boy Advance, and they were fixing it, and they were talking, and I just caught the part real quick where they talked about this game. Reggie did mention that there was a line that he didn't pick it up. He didn't think the game was worth $60. He said they should have sold it for $20. So right there, we know the game was sold for $60, and all these people are selling it crazy. And now somebody might question me and say, like, hey, but he's selling it for $60. He's not making any money off it. Yes and no, because that game, it would have never sold for $60, and he's getting rid of his stock, which probably isn't much of what he's giving to the people. Like I said, I do believe he has a back stock for himself and for friends. But $60 is overpriced. At the same time, the stock that he does keep, which I'm not blaming this on Joe, I'm just saying it's all connected to limited run. They do that with their convention games, and who knows what else they have in their warehouse in stock. I do believe there's some held up just in, I'm not gonna say in case, the price is gonna go up. The price is gonna go super high and they're gonna have that to either sell or whatever. One thing I found fishy on eBay, there was a listing that ended today on the 20th for 99 cents. It didn't sell. Now I went back and I looked into it and I couldn't find this listing again. Now the listings today, they did sell for 760 like I mentioned, and 500 and 530. Now ask yourself this, do you think Limited Run would do this? Fuck yes. In the end, guys, there's going to be collectors that are going to buy it and they're going to control the market to go up. There's going to be people like Destiny FOMO who are trying to get a full collection and will buy the game and never play it, never open it. So I see this price just going up and there's no end to it. So I made this video today to open up people's minds and realize how much power that, you know, a platform like Metal Jesus has and a company like Limited Run has to control the market of video games. What sucks about this is the popularity of companies like this is increasing. It's not just Limited Run anymore. And if tactics like this of purposely, artificially creating this scarcity just works, you're gonna see more companies doing it and you're gonna see the passion collecting go down. I have a huge passion in video games and it sucks to see this bullshit happening, but maybe this is another reason to just go digital and say fuck physical games, especially if they're indie. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please drop a like. If you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing and I'll be catching you guys on the next one. Peace out.